Hey guys, I just thought I'd make a video about some of the sevens rugby that happened this weekend. And we're a couple of weeks away from a World Cup sevens in Cape Town, and whether you should really be worried about the inconsistency of the Springbok sevens team, the Blitzboks. To be honest, I was very disappointed with what happened in LA. I thought, and for different reasons than you might think. One of those reasons was because the Springbok Sevens went into LA Sevens as favourites. You know, they were topping the log. They were 2 points ahead of Australia, who eventually won the title, but they were in a tough pool and they needed to get out that pool. But I wasn't that worried because we'd seen their form in the Commonwealth Games. They all those troubles they had in the last couple of sevens tournaments in the World Series seemed to have gone away. They seemed to have rectified them. Then they picked up some injuries and they sent a younger squad to LA, and that younger squad honestly didn't perform at all. There was a lot of defensive mistakes. There was a lot of over eagerness. There's a lot of individual mistakes where the Blitzboks, if the one thing about them is that they have to trust the system, and they didn't trust the system at all, and they paid the price for it, losing to America, then losing to the All Blacks, beating Canada but not beating them comprehensively, which meant they had to beat the All Blacks by 12 points. Then when they lost that, losing to Wales for the first time in a decade, coming back to beat Spain but also not convincingly, and then beating Japan for 13th place. And I don't care what anybody says, 13th place is not where a Springbok 7 side should be. Knowing Neil Powell as I do, and if you want to see a bit more about his strategy, there is a video on this website where you can have a look under the Sevens tab, where I chatted to him on the just after the Commonwealth Games and their hopes for the World Cup, which will be his last tournament before he moves to the Sharks. I know he wouldn't have been happy, and I think he's been quite public about his disappointment. I think that the reason I was disappointed with the way the Blitzboks played is because in a couple of weeks' time he's going to be gone. In a couple of months' time, we're going to lose a couple of those players. Miller Duplessis is going back to the Sharks, and you're going to lose a couple more of those players to 15s. And this was really the first glimpse of some of those fringe players getting their opportunity and showing that they can make that step up. And in that, I think we failed. Well, the Blitzboks failed, should I say, not we. But as a South African, it's hard not to say that. So, I think the disappointment in the way some of those players played, there were injuries. I know there were injuries, so we shouldn't expect the same level. But in the end, the way the tournament ended up, if they just got out their pool, they probably would have won the tournament. So it's a big disappointment, the way they did that. But now, what does that mean for the World Cup sevens coming up? I think hopefully not too much. I think there be a big wake-up call for the guys. I think what we'll see as well is you'll see the return of players like Selvin Davids, Ronald Brown, both of whom were extremely missed. That Impy Visser and Christy Krobelaar will both be back. So there'll be a bit more grunt up in the forwards and a bit more all-round things, all-round sort of shape of the team. I think the big worry is what's the injury to Zane Davids and to Dewald Hemon. But I mean, if you put that tournament in LA in perspective, Angelo Davids, their top try scorer, scored 1 try in the entire tournament. So if that doesn't tell you how bad they were at getting the ball out to their top try scorer, that tells you a lot. I think when they get guys like Selvin back and Ronald back, there'll be a lot more shape to the attack. There'll be a lot more purpose in the defence, and the sevens coaches will be drumming at home ahead of the World Cup. Problem with the World Cup is it's a pure knockout tournament. It's a straight, you will lose one game, you're out the tournament. So it's not the normal pool format that we have in HSBC World 7 Series tournaments. But it is a tournament where you have to be at your best from the start. There'll be extra pressure on them because there'll be the expectation of a home crowd as well. And they traditionally haven't done that well in the last couple of years in the sevens tournaments because of that. Here's hoping that they can sort it out. I think returning those players will do well. So I'm not too worried at this stage, but they definitely have some work to do. Thanks for watching this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Keep on doing more videos like this, and leave your comments below. Be interesting to see what you think. Thanks.